So you get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is pretty cool. So on behalf of Creative Life Spiritual Center in Spring, Texas, welcome to another reading from the Science of Mind magazine. Therefore, it's also courtesy of the Science of Mind magazine. They're daily guides for March of 2024. So here we go. The readings this month are written by Reverend Joanne McFadden, who's been part of religious science of mind, since her birth, I guess. She grew up in it. So she's incredibly familiar with all the concepts in New Thought and Science of Mind. Today's reading she has called Consistent Focus. Consistent Focus. First quote is from someone I'm sure you've all heard of, Wayne Dyer, who passed away not too long ago, just pre-pandemic, I think. He says, "One of the huge imbalances in life is the disparity between your daily existence with its routines and habits and the dream you have deep within yourself of some extraordinary way of some extraordinarily satisfying way of living." So let me read that again. One of the huge imbalances in life is the disparity between your daily existence with its routines and habits and the dream you have deep within yourself of some extraordinarily satisfying way of living. And as I said, that was Wayne Dyer, or Dr. Wayne Dyer, to give him his full title. From Being in Balance, 9 Principles for Creating Habits to Match Your Desires. And that's pretty much the beginning of the book on page 3, paragraph 1. So once again, the name of the book is Being in Balance, 9 Principles for Creating Habits to Match Your Desires. Ernest Holmes, of course, always more practical, says, "To concentrate means to bring to a center. And in mental science, it means focusing the mental attention on some definite and desired thought, image, idea, or thing." So in other words, focusing on what it is that we want to manifest. And that's from our basic manual, the Science of Mind textbook, on page 194, paragraph 1. And this is from Reverend Joanne herself. She says, "My collection of mugs from places I've been prompts pleasant memories. Because of the pleasure they bring me, I decided to try an experiment. At tag sales and second-hand shops, I began collecting mugs from places on my bucket list. Each day, as I retrieve a cup from my cupboard, I see the names and pictures of the places to which I want to travel. I take a moment to envision myself in that place, sightseeing, enjoying regional dishes, and having fun with my husband. The thought that one day I will be there makes me smile and is a great start to each day." After using these mugs, I made it to the Art Institute of Chicago to see Narcissa Thorpe's miniature period rooms, which were on exhibition there. And she said, "It's something that I had long had on my list of must-sees as a budding miniaturist." She says, "I sipped coffee from a mug featuring Alaska's Inside Passage, and within months, we booked a cruise there for next year. I continue to drink my coffee in mugs featuring Quebec City, New York Botanical Gardens, and I'm also now on the lookout for cups from Australia, New Zealand, Scotland, Sedona, and the Camino de Santiago. This is the same idea as a vision board, but on ceramic. The power in this practice is the consistent focus of my thoughts on where I want to be. How many times in our overly busy lives do we spend dedicated time thinking about what we desire? Thought creates and the dreams await. And it's kind of cool. Would I do the mug thing? I don't know, really. Some of the places I want to visit, I'm not even sure they would have mugs, although probably they've got souvenirs, mugs, etc., from everywhere on the planet. So what's on your bucket list? I'll give you a few things on my bucket list, shall I? First of all, I'd like to visit Machu Picchu, which I think would be kind of cool. Do they have mugs for that? No. Do they have souvenirs? I'm sure they do. Everywhere you go where there's a place of attraction, somebody has got inventive and has made souvenirs because they want to make money. So nothing wrong with that. They want to make a living out of it. Another of my bucket lists is to, I don't know if they're bucket lists, they're places I want to go and visit, things I want to do. Not necessarily a bucket list. An Alaska cruise, she mentions that. She mentions going on an Alaska cruise. Yes, I would love to go on an Alaska cruise. I would love to go to New Zealand. Australia, maybe. I know some people there, maybe. But New Zealand, yes. Why? Because it just looks an attractive place. And, of course, it's been featured in a lot of movies, especially The Lord of the Rings, right? And my wife and I watch a couple of New Zealand detective series. Series are based, one's based partly in Australia, partly in New Zealand. The other one's based completely, entirely in New Zealand. And it's kind of cool. So these are some of the ideas, but even just thinking about them makes me kind of excited. So are there things on your, quote, bucket list, unquote, that you'd like to do? Is the mug thing something that might interest you? Or just like me, thinking, well, I'm not necessarily into mugs per se, but what I could be into is photographs of the places. And I've had some of these on vision boards. Should I create another vision board? We've had classes in vision boards at our spiritual center. So I'm just thinking now about ways that I can bring into my consciousness the idea of visiting, say, Machu Picchu and being on a cruise to Alaska and seeing New Zealand. New Zealand, the flights are pretty easy to get around here right now. So maybe manifesting that wouldn't be such an arduous thing. So the real message behind this is that, well, a couple of things I get out of it. One is that life isn't intended for us to be miserable. Life intends us to enjoy life. Otherwise, what would be the point in it? And secondly, that using our creative imagination, we can bring into existence lots of things. And I'm thinking of some things right now in my head that I could will actually bring into manifestation. So once again, what's in your list? Are there things on your list? And what ideas have you gleaned from this reading that will actually help you to start manifesting those things? And it could be something as simple as a visit from an old friend. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be a place to visit. It doesn't have to be a car or a house or a partner or anything. It can be something fairly simple. So, point is that we have within us the ability, when we use our creative imaginations, our thoughts plus our feelings, to manifest these things. We just have to stir up the emotion behind it, believe it, and let it go, and then see what happens. And this is the way that she does it, which is kind of cool. So, are you going to do something like this? I don't know. It's entirely up to you. The affirmation kind of helps us move along. With great enthusiasm and gratitude, I remember just how powerfully my thoughts create. See, this is the key to it. With great enthusiasm and gratitude, I remember just how powerfully my thoughts create. That's a good affirmation for any time, whatever it is, whether it's just to get well again if you've got an issue with health, to visit somebody, whatever it is, really doesn't matter for you, for somebody else. So remember, Reverend Lisa will be on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I'll be back hopefully around about 5 o'clock tomorrow evening. Next week is going to be the soul session on Wednesday evening with Cleopatra, and I will remind you about that nearer the time. As I said, for now, just have a great rest of the day, whenever that rest of the day is. Once again, just do something special for yourself in the next 24 hours. Reverend Lisa says, eat dessert. Eat dessert first. I don't do that because I don't think it's all that healthy, but sometimes, once in a while, it's good to do things that are not, quote, healthy, unquote. So your job in the next 24 hours is to do something nice for yourself. Whenever that 24 hours is, doesn't matter whenever you watch this. So until next time, namaste.